Hi everyone, this is Christina Danforth from HR Jetpack, and today I would like to give you an overview of all of the online resources that are available to you when you sign up to prepare for a SHRM certification exam with HR Jetpack. I'd like to give you a tour, an overview of the online SHRM Learning System. But before doing that, I want to share with you what's available in your HR Jetpack account. And in fact, I'd like to answer a very popular question: where do I find the recordings for my classes? That's right. We record all of the live sessions with an instructor and we put them in your HR Jetpack account. So once you've gone to hrjetpack.com and you've signed into your account, you'll be brought to a page that looks very similar to this. And at the very top, there is an overview video about the program itself. Now, as you scroll down, you're going to notice that there are a list of sessions over on the left-hand side. These are all of your classes. Typically, there are 24 when you join HR Jetpack. Each class is usually 90 minutes long, and within 24 hours after the class ends, the recording will be uploaded here into your account. So all you need to do is select the session that you missed or that you'd like to review, and you'll be brought to that recording. So what else is available in your HR Jetpack account? You also have access to the SHRM Learning Portal. So you can log in here after going into your HR Jetpack account. I'm going to come back to this in just another minute or so. You also have the information that you need in order to sign into your GoToMeeting session. That's right, we use GoToMeeting for all of our sessions, all of our live sessions with our instructors, and that information is located here in case you need to access it. In addition to that, you'll notice a note about watching the session recordings, and we've uploaded all of the official SHRM certification exam prep course PowerPoints into your account, so you can access all of that here. In addition, we've uploaded what we call our unofficial guide on how to prepare for the SHRM certification exam. This guide is a collection of advice and guidance from our students who have passed the exam and are very experienced instructors. So some really good information there about how to prepare. In addition, you'll notice at the very bottom is a list of all of the dates and times for your class. So if there's a change in a particular date, then you can just come here, when you'll see that it's been updated, and that information is easily available to you when you come into your account. Now, another very popular question that we get is, what's the difference between what's in my HR Jetpack account and what's available in the online SHRM Learning System? So when you think of your HR Jetpack account, think of all of those resources that you need in order to access your class, be a part of your live class, watch a recording, any of that type of information that's directly associated to those sessions will be in your HR Jetpack account. However, when it comes to the online SHRM Learning System, this is where you'll find all those materials, all of the resources that you need in order to prepare for the exam with 2,500 plus multiple choice questions in quizzes, assessments, post-exams, all available to you in the learning portal so you can pass your exam. So let's take a little closer look at what's in the online SHRM Learning System. Now, when you log in, the first thing I want to point out to you is that you can actually move between two different sides of the system. There's both the SHRM-CP and SHRM-SCP. Now, regardless of which exam you're going to take, we recommend that you visit both sides of the system. The more practice, the better. You got to get in here and you got to be taking those multiple choice questions, those quizzes, and those assessments, which I'm going to talk more about in just a moment. So regardless, you can move between these two. Now, if you are in the middle of a quiz or an assessment, you cannot change sides. You must be within the rest of the system, and I'll show you where in just a moment, in order to switch sides. You'll see that there is a guided overview. Again, probably about a 7-minute tour, gives you a really nice look of the SHRM Learning System itself. But what I really want to bring your attention to is the initial assessment. You've got to take this initial assessment. It's a 160 multiple choice question exam, and it gives you a feel for what it's like to sit for the exam being 4 hours long. It helps you to build your stamina. So we recommend that you take it in one sitting. You don't have to, but we recommend that you do so you can see what that's like. You can get a feel for that kind of time and that number of questions. And in addition to that, taking this assessment helps you to better understand your strengths and your opportunities for development. In fact, let me show you where all of that information is going to populate. If you go into the Explore session, you'll notice what's the first prompt that I see is to take the initial assessment, because it's going to tell you your proficiency levels and it's going to give you your smart study path. So that's why we want you to take that initial assessment within the first week or two. So let's go ahead. Let's explore all the study materials. Pretty cool stuff. You're going to notice that each of these sections here correlates very much so with the books and with the structure of your class. So the very first HR competency that you're going to focus on is leadership and navigation. Now, notice this little area right here and how there's a score associated to it. So this is where you're going to see your proficiency levels. I'm going to give you an idea of where you need to spend more time studying. So now, let's answer probably the second most popular question that we get. Where do I find the quizzes? We're going to select leadership as an example. You'll notice that in the upper right-hand corner, there is a selection for the quizzes. In addition to that, once you scroll down, you'll also notice that there is another quiz icon, the same quiz, at the bottom of the screen on the lower left-hand side of the content. So you have an opportunity to access the quiz in 2 different places for each of the modules. So you see how many multiple choice questions there are. Now, something that we recommend, and another question that we get is, how do I go between doing the reading and coming out here into the learning portal? How do I manage that? What we recommend is that you balance between the two. So if you were to read a section such as leadership and navigation, which is the very first HR competency, once you get through that content, come out here. Come out into the learning portal and go through each of the quizzes that are associated to leadership and navigation. So you find that balance between the two. Now, another popular question that we get, where are the flashcards? So yet again, you'll notice I went back into Explore All Study Materials. I'm going to go back into Leadership again, and I am going to scroll down to a little icon in the lower right-hand corner, flashcards. So all the flashcards that are related to leadership and navigation are located here. And again, this is throughout the system. You'll see these icons. In addition to that, you can access the flashcards. As a matter of fact, printable, downloadable flashcards under Tips and Tools. So right here in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see access to all the flashcards. Now, one more place I want to bring you is out to the glossary. So lots of people like to go through the words, all of the different terms and concepts by going through the glossary as well in alphabetical order. And you can also do a search for a particular term. Now, let me take a moment to go back to Tips and Tools. Couple things that I want to point out to you. First and foremost, we get this question a lot. Can I access the books digitally? And the answer is yes. You log into your account, you come to Tips and Tools. In the upper left-hand corner, you'll notice the ability to download the EPUB files. In addition to that, I want to bring your attention to the SHRM Certification Handbook. Many of the questions that you have about exam fees, about logistics, anything of that nature, typically the answer is here in the handbook. Now, if you're with HR Jetpack, of course you can ask your instructor, you can ask me, any of our team members, but here's another great resource for you as well. Next, I'd like to bring your attention to the post-test. Now, the post-test is another awesome assessment that's available to you. However, it is a test that you take towards the end of the program before you take your actual exam. This is meant to help you prepare for the real deal. Again, another set of multiple choice questions allowing you to go through the content and give you a feel for what it'll be like to answer so many multiple choice questions in one sitting. But we recommend that you don't take this test until the end of your program. In addition to that, you also have access to a practice exam. This is super, super cool. This practice exam is made up of retired SHRM certification exam questions. This is the closest thing that you will get to taking the real deal before you actually take your exam. So absolutely wait until you get to the end of your program before you take your exam to take this practice exam. And by the way, there's two of them. You have one for the SHRM-CP and one for the SHRM-SCP. This particular exam is a little different also from the other tests and assessments. What do I mean by that? So this exam will only give you an ending score, just like the real exam. So there are no rationales, there's no right or wrong answers that it's going to show you what you got right and what you got wrong. It doesn't give you proficiency levels. It just gives you a raw score. That's it. Where the other tests within the system, including the quizzes, will give you that information. So just something to remember when you go to take the practice exam. Now, moving on, a couple other resources that I wanted to share with you. I wanted to come out here to the SHRM certification exam website, and I wanted to bring you specifically to the application process. So of course, this is another very popular question that we get, and you'll notice that SHRM has marked off all of the specific steps that you need to take in order to apply for your exam. And you'll notice that, again, there's another link to the SHRM Certification Handbook. So something important to take a look at when you're looking to apply for the exam. In addition to that, you'll want to double check all of the exam windows and fees. So you'll notice at the very top of the screen, they'll give you the most up-to-date window, whatever those dates may be, along with the application deadlines for both the early bird deadline and the standard application deadline. So just a few dates for you to be aware of while you're going through this process, especially as you're just starting to prepare for it. Now, one other site that I wanted to bring your attention to is Prometric. Now, Prometric is the testing facility that you'll be going to, unless you decide to take it remotely, in order to take your exam. But regardless, you have to schedule your exam through Prometric, whether you're taking it at an actual facility or if you opt to do remote proctoring. So you'll come to Prometric here after you've received what's called an ATT letter. That's the authorization to test letter, which typically you receive from SHRM within 10 business days of applying. So just something to remember. So you can come out here to Prometric, and I'm just going to do a quick search for SHRM just to show you what's available to you. You're going to notice many of the same resources that are talked about on the SHRM website are also talked about here. So when you come to Prometric, you can locate a testing center if you'd like to take it at a testing center, schedule your exam, you could confirm your appointment, you can go ahead and reschedule your appointment if you need to. And Prometric really gives you all the information that you need for exam day. Something to remember, security is very tight when you go to these particular testing centers. So make sure you take a look at the information on Prometric before you actually visit a testing center. So with that, I'd like you to know that there is a team of people here who are rooting for you. And we are here to help you pass your SHRM certification exam.